Hey everybody, it's Dr. Darren Smith. I'm here with one of our beautiful patients that has unfortunately had an experience with paradoxical adipose hyperplasia. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and speak with her about her experience and how it's affected her, and hear really from someone who's going through the process. So thanks for speaking with us.
Of course.
And can you tell me a little bit about your journey with paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, how you discovered you had it and how it's affected you?
Yeah, so I had my first round of CoolSculpting, first and only round of CoolSculpting in August of 2020, truly just to get rid of like a little lower pooch, right? A little lower pooch that we all deal with. And it was almost immediately, probably a month later, where after, the tingling, that initial feeling stopped, that I was like, this looks like it's jutting out. Because before it wasn't a jet out, it was just a little pooch.
Right.
And so if that was around August, back in around December of that year, I basically went back to the facility and said, hey, I think something's wrong. And they at first dismissed me, which I think was the first round of like, this doesn't feel really good.
Right.
Is that I know my body, and they were like, no, you didn't get even that much, so it couldn't be anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then I went back in January after, again, dealing with it myself, and just said, no, this is exactly what it is. So the first round, I think of, hey, this is tough mentally, is that I had to advocate for the fact that there was even something wrong, and it took them comparing it to photos, and it took them bringing in the doctor, because it was at more of a like health spa. So it took them bringing in the doctor to finally say, oh yeah, of course that's what you have. So that was just having the first and only round of CoolSculpting to then deal with having to advocate for myself was the first like, hey, this is tough.
Right.
And yeah, I got it.
Well, no, it's another thing that a lot of people share with us is it's especially a bad feeling because you're going in to have something addressed, right? You have a little fullness or whatever, and you want to take care of it, and then the opposite actually happens. So that can't be the best feeling in the world.
No, because I also felt like I had to do the research myself. They very much blew past the idea that this was even a thing. So even doing my own research and realizing that PAH was underreported, especially for women of color, Black women, I was like, this is really tough, like mentally. It just felt like I had to get over the hurdle that this thing happened that's supposed to only happen to a few people, and it happened to me.
Got it. And how did you find us?
I found you because you were my second surgery. And so I had a first surgery in March of 2021. And that first surgery, again, the surgeon was super, super kind. He could tell I was really upset that this was happening in the first place. But unfortunately, the methods that he used to be able to treat the PAH were methods that just a normal surgeon would do for a normal case, right? So it's almost like I now know that he didn't take into account the fact that there's scar tissue and this fat was different because it was treated already. And probably about 6 months after my surgery, I came to him and said, hey, nothing looks different, right? In fact, like he got areas around the PAH, and so because those were smaller, this looked bigger. And the worst part of that is that he was like, okay, well, here's another X, thousands of dollars, and we'll take care of it. So again, I'm like this second round of having to advocate for myself, and for a while I just left it. For like a year, I said, you know what, this is just what I'll deal with. But as the world opened up again, because this is still around COVID, I'd be putting on outfits or putting on swimsuits, and I was like, I can't stand this part of my body. So I basically went back to him and said, I need your help advocating with Allergen again, or Allergan, the company again. And I basically had him write me a letter to say, she needs to have another case. So once they approved the second round of lipo, I said, I'm finding the best of the best, period. I am gonna look around and say, who is the best at treating this? And your name popped up immediately. I read your articles, I watched your videos. I was like, he knows what he's talking about, and you explain it in a way that makes people feel really heard, but also in a way that we understand everything that happened before and what you're gonna do now. It's like the utmost care and knowledge with you.
Well, I mean, we really appreciate, that you're taking the time to speak with us, and we're glad you're having a good experience with us.
Always.
And, thanks for taking the time.
Of course, thank you.